So you're mobile now. You're walking now?
Yes, I am, to the best of my ability, and I'm hoping I stay that way.
What about the state of your soul?
My soul.
How's that going to come into play in season 6?
Oh, it's going to come into play. It's definitely going to come into play. I just finished. Well, I didn't just finish, but I just finished episode 4, which is Jensen's directorial debut, and that episode also deals very strongly with the whole what's going to happen to Bobby's soul issue, and it might get resolved and might not, or it might get complicated. This is helpful, isn't it? Yeah.
Are we going to pick up right where we left off, or is any time going to have passed?
You know, I'm utterly confused about that. Partly because there is some time shifting going on in the story, but also because we've been shooting episodes out of order, and so I'm like, what day is this? What year is this? Am I older, younger? Do I still know the same people? It's been utterly confusing. So yeah, there is some. I believe episode 1, the season premiere. I think it takes place like a year after the season finale of 5, I think. And then I don't know where I don't know. They should like give us a timeline, but they don't. So the only thing I can vouch for is that the season premiere will be a year later. Whether it stays a year later, I don't know.
What does that mean? Whether it stays here, is that
well, I mean,
writers?
we might. I don't know what happens in episode 2 or 3. I haven't seen the scripts. So whether they go back and fill in what happened during that year, I don't know. They haven't told me. Because we're doing things out of order, it's kind of hard to. I can only judge on the scripts I've seen. So.
Is this season more confusing than the past, or is that just sort of...
No, I think it's going to get... I think the confusing part is just me. That's just because, like I said, we went out of order a little bit, and there is some jump forward in time a little bit. So I'm a little confused. Don't get me wrong, it's not the show. The show is going to make perfect sense. It's just me that doesn't make sense. So... no, I think it's in terms of story. I think it's going to be very clear and very interesting. You know, we're going to get. In some ways, it's going to go back to its familiar roots from the first few seasons, but with a twist. So, in some ways, people are going to, I think, look at season 6 and go, "Oh yeah, this is the way the show started out." Well, whoa, what?
We do that a lot anyway.
Yeah. So, I think there's going to be a lot of familiar stuff that's not behaving in familiar ways. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. God knows what it means as far as I'm concerned. I just made it up.
It's really frightening that we understood that.
Well, a lot of things have been happening to Bobby since he got into his stress. So, as an actor, which one did you really like so far? Which one you felt like just really the pinnacle of the character so far?
That's an interesting question. I'm not sure how to answer it precisely. I know that probably the most rewarding stuff to do was last season in Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. I had a really wonderful time doing that episode and exploring a side of Bobby that we didn't usually see. I don't know if I call it the pinnacle but it was great stuff, and I'm glad they went there. And you know, it was actor's dream kind of stuff. You know, it was really. I had a good time with it. I don't know. That probably sounds weird since it was so dark, but I don't know. It's not a. I'm not sure how to answer that exactly. Okay.
You said the first episode of the new season picks up a year after the events of the last one?
I believe so, yeah.
Can you speak to anything about where your character is in the wake of having survived the apocalypse like that? Or is that just
Well, it's not so much... Emotionally, it's like a lot of other things with this season. Bobby, too, at least on the surface, I think, is going to kind of go back to familiar. I mean, Bobby's hunting again, and which is no surprise because they said at the end of season 5 that's what he was doing. But he's working solo and most of the time, and in some ways. He too is back to business as usual. You know, the way I like to frame it is, you know, we just had World War II, and now there's a lot of cleanup. So, and the cleanup's not always what we expect.
Can you expect Bobby to be at the front line of that?
I hope so. I got bills to pay, man.
Thank you.